Greetings and welcome back, Dragons. Mr. Sinicropi here. This is week 9 of our online performing arts classes. This week we're going to take a look at chapter 2 of learning music at Ableton. Last week was chapter 1, beats, and we looked at different rhythm patterns. We looked at putting 4 on the floor and adding a backbeat. And we looked at how changing the tempo to speed up or slow down can really change the feel of a rhythm pattern. Now we're going to move on to notes and pitches. Today we're going to look at some review at the major scale and the chromatic scale. We're going to add in a different tonality. Besides major and chromatic, we're going to add the minor tonality. So you're going to see that a little bit in this chapter. There's 6 lessons. Let's dive in. So of course you go to your browser, you type in learningmusic@ableton.com. There you are. Up here in the top corner you've got beats, then notes and scales. Here we go. Exploring pitch. All this is review, so I want you to go through it. You go from low pitch up to high pitch. You look at certain pitches that have letter names. Remember the keys on the piano? That's A, C, D, E, G. All right, moving right along into lesson 2. This is just making patterns. You're looking at a MIDI grid pattern, just like what we use for rhythm, and each row across has a different note assignment. This one is A, so whenever the time bar comes to A, it will play either a short or long A note. Same thing with C, D, E, and G. Now they're going to talk about keys and scales. We spoke about with the keyboard a few weeks ago, we spoke about major and chromatic scales. The chromatic is the one with all the notes, and the major scale uses just 7 of the notes out of the 12 chromatic notes. That's and remember that's 7, and then the 8th note is another C because the wavelength is doubled. We repeat it. That's the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And you can see the dots here because this is the C major scale. It's only the white keys on the piano keyboard. Now you can use that major scale to create a melody of your own with a MIDI pattern. Once again, you've got the notes that you can access over here on the left, but this time they highlighted the bottom and the top row. They did that because that's the C and the C. That's the root of this scale. When you're making a pattern, you're going to want to slow it down a little bit. You're going to want to end, if you want to create a sense of closure, you're going to want to end on the C or the C. And you could do it up here too. It would sound pretty good. But if I ended it on some other note, it won't feel settled. Whoa! What? That doesn't feel settled. It doesn't feel closure. When you get back to your root or your tonic, that C, it'll feel a little bit better. So when you're creating melodies, if you want to create closure, end on the tonic. Now, this is the part that we did not cover before. This is a different tonality. We only talked about the major and chromatic scales. This is the minor scale. It has a different feel. If you look at the keyboard, it's some of the white keys and some of the black keys. The 1, 2, 3, E flat, A flat, and B flat are going to be a part of the C minor scale. It's different. It sounds a little different. Not quite like that major scale. People could describe it as more somber or sometimes sad or melancholy, but I think minor scales can be very useful in a song too. So I want you to play around with this minor tonality and see what kind of melodies you can create with it. But the same rule about the tonic still applies. If you want to create closure, it's best to reach back to your C or your C for this one. So create some melodies. Use your ear. That's the most important part for you as a composer. Now we're moving on to lesson 5. This talks about the chromatic scale, and you can use the chromatic scale however you want. That gives you access to every note in our music system. Okay, here we are at lesson 6 of chapter 2. This is the best part. Play with notes and scales. You can really let your creativity flow here. We've got 2 different boxes, 2 different patterns. You can create a rhythm pattern, and you can create a melody. Now, you could go with a simple 4 on the floor with the kick, give a little backbeat with the clap, and then I added, on the ands, I added closed hi-hat to create this kind of sound. It's kind of like a house beat. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. And then you can create any melody that you want in any key. Okay, so choose your root. We've used C before, but you have so many different options. You could use any starting note, and that will be your tonic. It's the first note of the scale. I'm going to choose F, and I'll use a major tonality. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, now if I switch it to a minor tonality, let's see what it sounds like. Whoa, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so that's my major. This is my minor. Interesting. I want you to create a rhythm pattern and then play with different melodies in major and minor tonality. See what it sounds like and just kind of let your ears hear it and see what it feels like to you. And you can switch between those 2 different tonalities and see the difference. You can also switch between all the others and change your key, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. I hope you have fun with it. Enjoy this chapter 2 and feel free to move on your own. I'll see you next week. Peace.